there's a group called, a website called Count Me Out, which is a website set up recently that enables people to leave the Roman Catholic Church. And what it does is it sets up, it enables you to check for your diocese online and download the relevant forms and formally leave the Roman Catholic Church. We have one of the organisers somewhere here from, do you want to say a few words about that?
Micheal and Atheist Ireland for letting us come along to basically flog our wares, which is this little blue sheet that you might have seen, which is KBX.ie, because we're just launched on Wednesday, and the idea is if you want to leave the Roman Catholic Church, you can. And when we tried to do it ourselves, we found it a little bit confusing and a bit daunting, so we decided to set up a way for you to do it very quick and easily in a 3-step program. And again, even if you don't want to leave and you're just curious, come along and have a look. And we've had a lot of interest, and we only launched on Wednesday, and we've already had 214 people fill out the form of defection. And we've also got 107 people, I believe, following us on Facebook, and there's been a huge discussion on boards about it. So while we're not here to encourage anyone or to preach anyone to leave, all we're doing is basically facilitating it and supporting people who want to leave to make it as easy as possible.
Does the church respond?
There's actually, we have had a few emails sent to us. We can't prove for a fact that they've come from the church, but Kieran has had an official response. It depends individually on the priests themselves. That actually goes to your archbishop, and they can respond themselves, and they can ignore you either. But they can let you defect from there, or they can insist that you send them from your baptism cert.
It's called formal defection, and basically how it works is you simply send a letter to the archdiocese explaining that you want to leave formally, that you're doing it by free will, that you are theologically removed and practically removed from the church, and they have to respond. I had a meeting yesterday in the Archbishop's Palace in Drumcondra. Very pleasant meeting. He just wanted to make sure that I knew the consequences, which I needed to. Aside from the light involved effect, there's getting married. You'll be treated as a non-Catholic. So, if you marry a Catholic, the person you marry will have to, if they want to get married in the church, will have to stay. The kids will be brought up Catholic. You have absolutely nothing to do with your spiritual life. And the other one, to be honest, I can't really remember, it's something to do with being dead. So you can't get last rites. So that wasn't a major disincentive. So, but they were very pleasant about it. They were, there was no problem about it at all. They only got my letter on Tuesday. By Friday I had the meeting, and he promised me by 2 weeks' time I'll be out and I'll be done and dusted, and that's it. And the importance of it is not, there's partly like kind of, as it says on the website, there's a kind of an emotional sort of closure where you're finally like, you're not lapsed, you're not apostate, you're just not Catholic. But aside from that, it can't claim you anymore. When you see in the newspaper that 88% of the country is Catholic, it isn't. If you look in a church on Sunday, they're not there. They show up for funerals. They might go to midnight mass now and again. And I think there's an awful lot of people in the country who aren't Catholic and just haven't realised it yet. And this website is fantastic for that. It's fantastic. It's very, very simple. I had
a very interesting thing, and I joined the army nearly 20 years ago, and I became an atheist. And when I tried to change my religion, the state, because they told what your religion is, they wouldn't let me. You're Catholic. And you're getting detailed to carry offering possessions from aircraft and that. So.
Well, you get a form, and you may get a new baptismal cert. You can send them your old one, and it'll be stamped all over it. Defective. You have to admit that will look fantastic framed. Aside from that, they sign it in the baptismal register. So even if God forbid you die early, and your parents decide to have a Catholic funeral for you, it's in the baptismal register in Latin that you have formally defected from the church, so they keep a record of it as well.
It's one of my words, with productive my post.
Gigantic red A. Yes.
So, like when the system gets the kids to this, and they say things like that, so rubbish, the biggest cult ever made. They still go ahead and do it. I'm always saying,
Yeah.
What's about an atheist already known our
There's just one last point I'd like to make as well. The priest I was talking to yesterday pointed out they have been getting more defection forms recently. Now, they haven't gotten any, or he wasn't aware of, haven't got any from countymail.ie yet. But he did say that some of the defection forms they get, or defection letters, are extremely abusive. And I don't think that's going to do our cause any good. I mean, mine was, you could say, strident. To a theist, you would certainly hear the word shrill coming back at you. I made no bones about why I was leaving, but I wasn't abusive, I wasn't aggressive, I wasn't threatening, and I don't think it does cause any good at all to do that.
And the idea was, while we do intend to hopefully open up to other religions, and we are being quite specific to Roman Catholic at the moment, the idea basically came about that whatever's gone on in the past and the history of Ireland and through the church, basically they are claiming us as members and we are on their census because we have been baptised. I'm a lapsed Catholic, there's a lot of atheists here, agnostics and everything like that, but they're still doing these things in my name and I don't want that anymore, so I want them to count me out. So there'll be less percentage over and over again as time goes on of people that they can claim for their own, and hopefully that will influence their impact on the state and on the country in a whole, and how we bring up our children and how we cope with things in the future. So if you look in the press tomorrow on the Sunday Times, they're doing a piece on it, but more importantly, please log on to countmeout.ie.
The schools, Catholic schools, to put it in perspective, if you check any of the documents published by the Catholic bishops, they explicitly see the role of Catholic schools as evangelising Roman Catholicism within the schools. And it is to permeate throughout the entire education system from a Catholic perspective. It's not something that is just for religious education. It's the whole show. Whatever you're teaching it through that filter. They have an advantage as well in various employment laws that allow Roman Catholic schools to discriminate on the basis of religion in their admission policies, and that also allow teacher training colleges and nursing training colleges to discriminate on religious grounds without falling foul of the Employment Equality Acts. That's not counted. It's explicitly not counted as discrimination if it's done within those contexts.
If it's based on the basis of age or sex or race or anything else, it's counted explicitly as discrimination, yeah. But religion has actually, in the Equality Act, got an exemption for itself specifically.
That's
anything
right.
else on that basis is discrimination. It's religion, it's not discrimination.
Yes, religion has a specific exemption. The second priority area that we have is the need for a secular education system. And now we've seen just the tip of the iceberg with that child abuse report as to how the Catholic Church was running the education system when they were in charge of it, or those elements that they were in charge of it, and it's utterly scandalous. If it was any organisation other than a religion doing that, they would be closed down and they would have their assets seized, and there would be no talk of negotiating anything with them. But in broader terms, outside of that, there's just a need to have an education system that, irrespective of the abuse element, that isn't centred around religious belief or religious ethos, and that people should be entitled to believe whatever religious beliefs that they want to believe, but that it shouldn't be indoctrinated into people through the education system.